Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Summer School. Today, we are here with a super fun guest who I just met in Italy, of all places. And you're from Germany, if I'm right. We have Lukas. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your entire name, but Lukas is so freaking rad. We both were teaching at the workshop in Italy, and I'm going to let him introduce himself because if you don't already know him, man, he's had his hand in so many places of the industry. So if you don't know his name, you probably know him in some way, shape, or form. But Lukas, tell everyone a little bit about yourself, all the other businesses you've kind of ran, a little bit on your artistic journey, whatever you want to say when I say all of this, because I just told you before this call, introing you would be hard because there's so much to you. And I found it so interesting in Europe, and I'm so glad you are now here on the podcast with us.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thank you for having me because it's a big joy for me to be here with you and talk with you about so much so much stuff. But yeah, my name is Lukas, and I do live in Germany. I'm a destination wedding photographer. If you guys don't know me, I have my hands in looks like film, Meridian Presets. Those are the two big brands that I've built over the past years. And I'm currently also trying to build an online education class called Eon. So those are the three main things. Other than that, some of you might know my photos, some not, which is totally fine. And in the future, me and Summer will be known as a big AI music artist. So you've heard it here first, guys.
Oh gosh, yeah. In Europe, Lukas was dabbling in the AI music, and my husband, for anyone listening that knows things about Jake, is an audio engineer. It was so bad. Lukas was like, I make AI music sometimes. There's this app. You'll have to tell everyone about it. We'll talk about all the AI things in this episode, but I was like, I don't know, man. It's going to be so bad. This song is going to suck. And then the songs that we made together were actually crazy. And what we did was we made a song that I knew me and my husband would like based off of artists that me and my husband enjoy. And then I sent it to him. And also, for reference for everyone listening, me and Jake listened to a band called La Femme a good bit, which is kind of, I don't know what they would consider themselves, but I would consider it kind of like psychedelic French music. I don't know. It's experimental, it's fun, it's different. So, given I'm in Europe and then I send him just like a MP4 file via text, he assumes someone at this workshop is so talented. Literally, he texts back, he was like, wow, this is so freaking good. Did someone at the workshop make this? And I look at Lukas and I'm like, oh no. And and I'm like, it was AI. So literally, if it fooled my audio engineer of a husband, that's how good it was, which is terrifying. And we can all feel all sorts of ways about it. But it was really good. I played it for people at the last retreat I just taught at after Europe. And
You did.
they were like, yeah, I literally pulled it up because I was telling them about it, Lukas. And so I pulled up your text and I played them the song and they were blown away. They were like, wow, this is really good. I need to somehow find a way to show everyone on the podcast the song, I guess. But man, what app is it you're using? I mean, it's kind of crazy, these songs.
It's called Suno, Suno. So I'm just playing around with it, just for fun. And you guys enjoyed it. And it was, I think it was a great evening at the workshop.
It was a fun time. Yeah.
We were doing a barbecue and just doing silly songs. And everybody could just input their prompts and their type of music. And I think some people really enjoyed it, especially Oleg at the workshop. So I do it, and you too. So and Jake as well. So yeah.
I mean, it was really interesting too to see the song Oleg would create versus the song I would create versus something maybe you would make. And I didn't even know you were. I feel like this was what bonded us was this AI music night because I had heard from the car that you were playing people your AI music, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
I just played one song, and that was it. And then I think some people demanded to play it, and then you asked me, and I played it. So and I think that's kind of it was planned,
Yeah.
And.
And then the friendship spiraled from there, from the AI music.
Yeah, so everybody became a band, a fake.
No, literally.
Fake French, Italian band, whatever it is, Spanish, flamenco.
Yeah.
You said flamenco, so yeah.
It was good. It was a good time. So outside of the AI music, you're also into AI in some capacities within photos within the industry, within like tools that you're using. I feel like you and I kind of bonded on that too, on just kind of nerding out over random different things. What are some softwares that you really enjoy using today in all the multiple of businesses that you've been using? Like anything you use often that you want to talk about, or anything you've been shown recently? I know you were just at a trade show that you were like, oh shoot, that's cool.
I think the one that I use the most, or like have been using the most for the past years, is probably like Midjourney, which is like an
Mm.
image generation tool, and that's how I like first got introduced like to like the AI world, I would say. I think Midjourney was around like even prior to ChatGPT,
Mm.
so which is interesting. And yeah, so I do just like to test like new things out, like even if it's just like like a week long trial, like doing something. There's 11 labs for audio. I think you know that too, which is also crazy. But Midjourney, just like being like a bit more creative and like trying like to, I don't know, yeah, do something just like different and crazy, and just like trying like to make art in a different way.
Mm.
I mean, at the workshop, you've seen it. Um, there
Yeah.
was another speaker with us, Thomas Love, which is like an AR artist, so image artist, and I mean, this might be like probably like the future of like some jobs, right? Like having like parts of it like being done by AI, even if like we might not like it right now, or like
Yeah.
might not understand it, but I think there's like no way going back at this moment. So yeah, just like trying to embrace it, of course. And yeah, but again, like for me, it's just like playing around with it. I guess ChatGPT, we all use it, right? Or Gemini, whatever it is, like which one we're using. Claude. There's so many great
Yeah.
large language models that I use daily, and I guess like the basic features in Lightroom and Photoshop with like mask and like generation fill, or expand. So those are like the ones that I probably like use the most right now.
I recently had someone on the podcast. If anyone wants to click back, I think like maybe 4 episodes, and we chatted. He works in just AI, like business. He's almost like a business coach for businesses to implement AI. I don't know. I wish
Mhm.
I knew like the title right now. But we talked about Chat GPT, and then he introduced me to a app you can download on your phone for free called Whisper Flow. I'm still getting used to LOL the flow of like switching my keyboard and stuff, but basically it's just a way better like man, say I have a thought and I want to like document that thought instead of a voice memo, it can like write it out for you. Whereas ChatGPT can be kind of laggy sometimes and like put it in paragraphs and really like decipher what you're saying better, if that makes sense. So I've been using it because I'll just have those like airport thoughts. And now those airport thoughts are now in like notes that are like actually transcribed really well. And I used to just let those exist in my brain and forget about them, 10 minutes later. So now I actually like get them documented instead of a voice memo I'd have to like re listen to. So that's been super useful. And I know that there's so many more ways that you can implement that into ChatGPT and stuff, but I just learned about it when I had him on the episode. I'm like, shoot, I need to like actually start using that. So I downloaded it, and I've only had it on my phone for like a week, and I'm trying to figure out how to really implement it. But I think once I implement it, it'll be really great. I mean, especially for people in my sphere where I feel like when we teach and stuff, I will just have random, like really good thoughts just pop in my mind because I think these things naturally. Like I live, breathe, eat business and photography. And so sometimes I need to like not have it be more organized than a voice memo? So I think that tool will be really good. I'll let you know like once I use it more what I actually think about it, but that's been fun. And then taking those notes and implementing them into ChatGPT cuz I don't know if you do this, but I talk to my ChatGPT a good bit, but the actual talking to it, it doesn't transcribe very well. So I think that's where the app kind of comes into place. The transcription side of ChatGPT is just like a little clunky. I don't know how
Mhm.
you feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me it's okay because I probably just like speak very slowly in English.
He's like, I'm more deciphered than you are.
Because like normally, because in a weird way, like I don't speak German with it. I speak English with it. I don't know why.
Oh,
I don't know why. So for me, it's like it's fairly okay. I mean, it makes some mistakes, of course, and I do like when I get excited, I speak very fast. So where some words might be just like like gibberish and
Mm.
not what I said. But it's okay for me for what I'm doing right now. So, but yeah, I've checked. I mean, you mentioned Whisperflow at the last workshop, and I've actually tried it, and
Yeah.
it is better. So yeah,
I didn't know that I actually mentioned it. So that's cool that you've tried it. You've probably tried it more than I have at this point. But the only
who
thing I
knows?
don't like is the integration with the keyboard. I'm not used to it because I'm used to going back and forth between my keyboard and my emojis. And I'm like, why is there this stupid other keyboard here? I think it'll take a lot of like getting used to. But yeah, I want to try Claude and Gemini more because I've only ever used ChatGPT and I've been told those can be better for like longer form conversations. But I feel like ChatGPT in specific has gotten so much better. Like it is so good at understanding what I want these days that I almost don't feel like trying a new software. I don't know. What do you think?
It's crazy because I've tested Claude and Gemini, and I did like them better than ChatGPT.
Hmm.
But in the end, I like always came back to ChatGPT because I think just like it looks nicer and it's easier to use
Mm-hmm.
in a weird way. And again, like it's okay for what I want to do, right? So
Yeah.
and it's I mean it's kind of like a race, right? So like with every new update, like everybody let's just like try to beat the other person in like like coding or image generation. And yeah, I mean I'm always like jumping back and forth, like even with like images. I'm not sure if you know Nana Banana, the one that
No,
Google
I
did.
think you mentioned that though. Nana
Yeah,
Banana.
that's just like crazy good. And I think
Mm.
part two is like out for like the beta right now. So
Mm.
I think they launched yesterday, and that one is actually wild. So
Okay, tell everyone about this one because I've never heard about it. What is Nana Banana and what would you use it for?
it's basically the same thing as like any other like image generation tool,
Hmm.
but you can literally just like take a normal photo and just like let's say we've got a photo of me and you at the workshop, right? And then we could just like tell Gemini in this case to like change our clothing or like change the setting, and it would just like change the entire photo, like change the lighting, but it's still us. This
Hmm.
like it, and it looks legit like a real photo.
And
And
so is Nana Banana a plugin for Gemini? Because you said Gemini, or did you mean
you
Nana
can
Banana?
select it within Gemini. So
Oh, whoa.
yeah, so that's one of the use cases. There's others where you can just like literally just like upload a photo of you and then put yourself like in different locations, and like like if you like upload like multiple photos, you can literally just like make a photo shoot with one person, different angles, and it just
Hmm.
like nails everything.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's crazy. And I've been at a conference 3 days ago here in Germany, a big photo conference, and one of the speakers was a photographer and slash he's got like a marketing agency, right? So for like over 20 years, and he told me like Lucas, like I have like certain clients that I work with, and there's like one client is like a large pizza chain in Germany, right? So, and every year, like he has to send out like a photographer to just like shoot the new pizzas that they're doing, right? So like campaigns, whatever.
Hmm.
And he told me like I'm paying that guy like probably like around 5K just to shoot like 8 pizza photos for
Yeah.
like the campaign, and that's it. And he told me like what I did, like I took the pizza photo, I gave it to Dana Banana, and I had it like recreate a new photo, and it nailed it, and it was actually better than the one that the photographer did.
Yeah.
And he told me like I could not tell the difference if it was real or not. And then he told me like I probably have to let this guy go and make the next campaign next year with Nana Banana, which was wild to me because I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's crazy because that's a person that has been like doing this job like for this company for probably like a lot of years, right? And now this AI tool comes along and yeah, just makes it better. And he has to pay like probably like $29 per month for like the subscription of it. And yes, I was like, oh my god, this is like so many people like will be affected by this, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy, like even in the photography space. And I'm just glad that I'm doing weddings, because I kind of feel like
No one can
weddings are
replace
like,
weddings.
yeah, right. So it's like one of
Yeah.
the few things that AI might not be able to replace. Hopefully, please.
I don't think
And
it's possible because unless there was a physical robot shooting the wedding, like
sure,
there's
yeah,
no way you could replace a wedding photographer.
yeah, of course. But like any other fields, like fashion, like stock
Yeah.
footage, and like so much more, like even like video, that might all be gone in the future. And it's gonna be like so many people
Crazy.
that might not have a job, or like will be like, like fighting for like new jobs. And yeah, so I'm a bit scared about the future, and in that sense,
Yeah.
as excited as it is, but it's gonna, yeah, affect so many people in a negative way.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy like how I think the biggest thing that everyone has an issue with is just like the rules and laws around it and stuff. And like that eventually will will need stuff in place in some capacity. But also I think it's cool to also reflect on the fact that like, you know what's trending in wedding photography right now? Film. Like people will always have a knack for a like handmade like analog, like digital photography might be almost felt like how we perceive film, like analog images now. Soon, probably in the next like 3 to 5 years, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you're using a digital camera? Wow, that's crazy to think about. But that could happen. And there will always be like a novelty towards that. You know, there's still, I know people who only shoot film at weddings and they're still getting hired. And the film photographers back in the day were probably feeling the same way we're feeling about AI when digital cameras were brought onto the surface. I think without like the rules and everything that will need to come into place for AI, it's gonna be crazy. But I think it is cool that the industry is like shifting in like a film forward kind of way. And there's always gonna be that draw towards like a handmade, like novel kind of thing. You know, I feel like you even see a shift like the retreat I was just at, I asked someone, I was like, what are your niche hobbies? Because everyone has some sort of niche hobby. And one of the attendees was like, quilting. I quilt. And it was just this like super hip, like 19-year-old. And I was like, you're so cool. That's so cool to like you quilt in your free time. I think that's amazing. So yeah, I mean, even in the world of I think there will always be a draw towards a curated experience. But I think when it comes to business, what people need to keep in mind is creating something that hopefully AI couldn't really create, whether it's your experience you're giving to your clients and making it in a way where people want that experience with you. Because maybe someone could replace the work side of it. Like, say you're doing a commercial type thing, like, they're like, no, we literally can't do it without him. He is a part of our team. You know what I mean? Creating some sort of way where they feel like they need you, even if they could get the photos rendered in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure like that being like human, and like doing something like that an AI cannot do will
Mm-hmm.
be like so much more valuable in the future. If we talk about SEO later, I've got another use case for that as well.
Ooh.
But yeah, film photography, that's of course like one thing that AI can also not fake.
Yeah.
At least
Well,
the
they
real
could try to
photo,
make something that
the
looks
look.
film. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like curious, like what kind of like AI features our cameras will have in the future. Like
Mm,
um, they're only like like face recognition when we like take photos, and like
yeah.
that's only like some sort of AI, I guess.
Well, I
I
already
think,
heard from conferences I went to that, well, and I don't know if this is like public knowledge, but I already heard that companies were trying to implement ways where these companies that are like AI image editing, where we can implement that into our cameras as we're taking them instead of using the software after the fact. And I'm like, whoa, that would be crazy if there's something like an Imagine after shoot narrative, literally just it's a plugin we add into our camera and we can and the computer be like, hey, here's my style, and you are shooting instead of like running it through the software after the fact, you're just shooting the photos with your
mm,
trained style that you've trained. That's crazy. And I know that that's already being like talked about, at least I'm assuming publicly. Hopefully I'm not spilling tea that I'm not supposed to talk about, but um I didn't hear it from any one person. Anyways, I think that's public knowledge, but like I know that people are trying to do that, and I'm like, okay, we already have, film recipes and things like that in Fuji cameras, but we're talking like you're training an edit and it's happening as you're shooting inside the camera, not through tethering to a software, not through adding your photos and letting it process after the fact. Like, that's kind of wild. I mean, I would do it. Like, I would have it run through my camera so that by the time the images hit my Lightroom, I'm not having to make a ton of adjustments. I'd totally be open-minded to that.
Yeah, I mean, if it helps the workflow, right? I mean,
If
because
it's
you got to edit
good.
it. Yeah, I mean, why not? So at
Yeah.
least try it. I think I've heard that there's like some movie cameras like that have been like tested in movies where like literally film something and the AI will automatically like, kind of replace the background. So like it
Um,
knows like where you are, like, and then it kind of like cuts you out and like puts you in a different place
yeah, like
with
no
the
reason
lighting.
like for the green screen anymore.
Yeah, with like the lighting being like
Yeah.
already adjusted too. So that's also like something that might happen in the future. Did you see like the new Photoshop like relighting feature?
No, but Evoto's already had that for a second,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But I haven't updated any of my Adobe stuff, and I know you're just at a conference, so you probably saw like more things unveiled or something. But I always fear updating on the first launch with Adobe because I feel like that is when all the bugs happen. And I've already heard negative things. So I don't know. Maybe I will update my Adobe after this. But I love you, Adobe. But I feel like every time you hop on like a new first push, that's when like your systems get buggy and crash out. But I don't know. Did you actually update yours? Are you having good results? Have you tested them yourself?
I haven't no. I just saw it like at the presentation, and
Mm.
I think it was like a like a Halloween themed photo where like they placed like a candle like within
Mm.
the pumpkin, and which
Whoa.
wasn't in the initial photo, and then so it kind of like relighted it, and it was wild. It looked
Whoa.
legit like like a real candle within the pumpkin. And yeah, so this might be interesting because I love to play with lights and shadows.
Yeah.
Even if I don't use it in a final photo, just like maybe like testing like stuff around, like how would light look if I
Yeah.
place a light source here and another one there? Does this look good or not for a photo? I mean,
Was that feature actually released, or was that just because at the conference they were unveiling like things that were coming?
it was just shown, so I
Okay.
don't think it's released yet. So
Because I know they showed their assisted culling. Man, I know that they did like a little showing of it. I think at WPPI almost a year ago, but they just released it right now. So it might be another like 9 months before they release that. But I've not heard great things about their culling drop. Have you tested that at all? I would love to test it just so I can know. But I know that if I test it and I make a video, I'll probably just be like, oh, what a bummer. This could have been better, is how I know I'll probably feel.
I did not test it, no. But maybe it's just like enough for the people that use it, like normally,
Yeah.
like not wedding photographers, but
Yeah.
amateurs, whatever, semi pros. Maybe it's okay for them. But it might show you what could happen in the future. Like, like
Yeah.
Adobe like trying like to make like companies like after shoot an image and no longer relevant if
No,
they
yeah.
just
I
like
mean,
introduce these features.
I've always assumed instead of them introducing it that they would honestly just buy one of the three companies. So I was like, that just makes more sense to take a thing that people already love. You have the money to do it. Just buy one of them. And I think all the companies would be down for that too. But then instead to release just like a subpar feature when there's already companies doing so much better, I was like, okay. But I think at the end of the day, like Adobe will never be the pioneers. They have too big of a business to take risk like that. That's why I assumed they would maybe just acquire someone who's already doing it
Mm.
if that company's succeeding. Um, but I think that's also why we see things like, man, have you seen the videos about the fact that what was it? I want to look into this. So maybe you've looked into it and I haven't. But that I think like Canva bought a company called Affinity and they made it free and they're trying to like replace Photoshop completely. And from this free version of Affinity or something, people believe there's a chance they could maybe succeed in like actually being like the new Photoshop. And I was like,
Mm.
whoa, to actually think that you could take over a market like that when Adobe's been the standard. Making it free means it might be more likely to be implemented into like colleges, into high schools, into things where there won't be a cost anymore. And I was like, whoa, because it's not just photographers using Photoshop Lightroom. It's like these things start at the bottom of like grade school, college. What are they using? What are people used to? Um, so yeah, I thought that was wild. I've just been getting like reels on that recently, and I'm like, I haven't looked into Affinity at all. I don't even know what it is, but I'm intrigued, and I want to look into like what that could mean, because for the industry, that's a crazy, like, that'd be a wild shift if there was a
For
whole
sure,
new,
yeah.
basically, like, I mean, I love Canva. I live inside Canva. I don't touch Photoshop much at all, but Avoto, I do love. You guys love Avoto. I told Lukas about it. I don't know. Have you tested it since I told you about it?
Not yet. I still have to get back to them because, as I told you, like they messaged me
Mm-hmm.
some weeks ago. They did, in fact, send another email like last week,
Oh, fun.
uh, but I still have not replied yet. So, because I wanted to talk with you first, so because you raved about it, and
Yeah.
yeah. So,
I
is
mean,
it good?
I don't use it as much as I could. I want to test it more. I need like a slow season, which hopefully will be soon for everyone listening, because I've told so many people I'm going to test so many things, and I'm like, I need freaking free time, which is past mid-November. So if you want me to test any software, hit me up after mid-November. But Evoto I mainly use for, and maybe Adobe's new updates will have this, I don't know, but one of the most useful scenarios is like glasses glares and reflection. If you're
Hmm.
using Flash, I mean, so many people have blue light glasses these days, and they are so tinted in photos. And in Evoto, you can just like literally one click, boom, gone. You don't have to really do anything. It almost operates kind of like if anyone's ever touched like a Facetune or something, like, just like a simple, it's just slider bars. There's nothing complicated or overwhelming about it. For people that are into AI like you, maybe it won't be advanced enough for you. But for people like me who are like, I feel like I just need it to also be simple. I mean, kind of like you said with ChatGPT, like you come back to that because you like the interface. It's easy. That's what I like about Evoto. Like, it's easy for me to understand. There's so many features I still haven't dove into, but the ones that it does have, especially for, say, retouching, I grew up in the like elopement era of photography. So like no one taught me about like dodging and burning or what retouching was. I didn't need to know about that. My clients didn't care. But as I went up in the wedding industry or branched into commercial work, those were things like I should probably do a little bit of. And yeah, I can literally just slide a slider and boom, done. Like, I don't have to do anything. So that side of it, I know for commercial work, I think you can even tether to it and have it like live retouching for like directors watching your screen. So I'm like, that's
Hmm.
cool. So yeah, I need to explore like more of the features, because I know they've had a lot released recently, but a scenario I used it in for everyone listening, and if I've already said this on the podcast, I'm sorry, but I told Lukas about this in Europe, was I was shooting like headshots for one of our director friends in LA, and he just needed literally like an IMBD photo. He just needed a square with a backdrop. It was nothing complicated. It was just a friend. I was just taking his photo, but we didn't want to like rent a studio or anything. He just needs like 4 pics. So I set up a backdrop in the parking lot of where we lived, and wind came through and it tore the backdrop. And I was like, man, bummer. I don't have any more backdrop paper. It's just like the worst case scenario, kind of. I mean, it wasn't like a paid shoot, so it wasn't a big deal. But at the same time, I wanted to do this for my friend. He had like watched our dog and stuff. And so I was like, man, I've heard of this tool, Evoto, and I've heard that they can swap backdrops. Let's take some photos and I'm going to test it. And that's actually how I started using Evoto. Let's take some photos and we'll see if it works. And if I showed you guys these images and didn't tell you that I swapped the backdrop, it looks like I shot them in a studio with like, it kind of did some of the, maybe it was based off the backdrops I chose, but it did swap the backdrop really well. And maybe there's some sort of niche, more advanced tool like a Nana Banana or something. But for what I needed, I feel like it, to me, when I describe it to people, I say it's like a really advanced, simple AI forward Photoshop. Like, there's like the AI editing things, there's, narrative, imagine, aftershoot, but Evoto feels more, and those feel more like, oh, they're trying to like help with Lightroom. Evoto is more like, why use Photoshop anymore? We're just going to use this instead. That's how I don't see a world where I'd really use Photoshop too much, maybe for removing something if I had to, but I haven't touched Photoshop in a long time. If I'm retouching or like removing glare, I change someone's backdrop and it looked great. So here's your ad photo. I just feel like I literally just gave like a full on ad for this product. But I think it's cool. I definitely want to keep testing it more. On the like logistics side of things, there's like no load speed or anything like that, which I like. Some AI editing, it takes like an hour for your stuff to send over into Lightroom, and it's like, man, Evoto can like swap a backdrop and there's no load speed. I don't know the science side of that, but I think it's cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sponsored
Lucas
by.
is like, wow, she just kept going. Yes.
You make me curious now, so I have to check. I'll probably test it tomorrow.
I know. He watch him test it and be like, I actually don't like this.
What is this?
For glasses, it's great. I love it for like, I don't know what people were doing before Evoto. Luckily, I've been using it for long enough that I haven't had to know what people were doing. But dude, blue light glasses, vein of my existence. Ever since these got invented, like such glare in wedding photos.
Just like manually retouching it, like
yeah, who has time for that?
Adjusting. I did that when I was like younger.
Oh gosh, especially because people would be doing it in like. I mean, most people don't want to take off their glasses for a photo. It's like a woman not wearing makeup. So, yeah, I could not imagine. Evoto saved my life in those regards. But yeah, you can bulk like sync images too. So if you want to like bulk send, anyways, I'm rambling. We're gonna move on. Man, AI music, Photoshop, AI editing, all the AI. You know what's funny is I think we end up talking about AI on this podcast even more than I would like sometimes intend. But maybe I'm a secret nerd. Maybe that's what we're discovering. Man, I also think you like as a photographer are so talented, and I would love for some people to like hear about that in some way, no matter what you would want to share with people. I don't know if you have anything you do want to share with people in that regards, but I loved watching your work in Europe, and I loved watching your presentation in Europe and the way that you see light. And I think it could be kind of cool if you dive into that a little bit. You don't have to go long into it, but maybe like I'm really going to surprise you with this question because I didn't even say we were going to chat about this, but like when you're shooting a wedding day, what does your eye naturally gravitate towards the most when it comes to taking a good image? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I guess the simple answer would be lighting. So, which of course, like, doesn't say much right now. Maybe I have to like go back a bit and just like explain myself a bit better. So I kind of like developed this style over the years, which is kind of cinematic, and I do love to like play with like strong contrasts. So like a lot of the stuff that you see, if any one of you would be so kind like to check my Instagram account,
you should go check it out, guys.
Yeah, you see it right away. So I try to like play with like those like things like light and shadows. So like I don't want to be like I try not to be like affected by like trends in the industry too much. I try like to keep like what I've been doing for the past years, and most of my clients are like creatives. So it's photographers, videographers, artists like singers, painters, graphic designers, like everybody that has like a creative eye is booking me for the wedding, and that's what I kind of like. I also like love to play with like symmetries and like lines. So and if you like, kind of like combine like all these elements together, you kind of get like probably like not I don't want to say unique look, but maybe like a different look than what is trendy right now. And of course, my style like also like evolved over the past years. Like I think the biggest mistake that I did when I started out was that I was so much affected by like the trends, and I like didn't like believe in myself at all. I just like wanted to be like somebody else. I'm not sure if I mentioned it at the workshop, but when I started like over 10 years ago, like I googled like the best wedding photographer, and I found Jose Villa, right? Which we all know. And So little did I know, like I was like trying to be like him. Like I bought his contacts, camera. I bought his rolls of film. I've actually shipped everything to California from Germany out,
To
and I've
Richards.
asked like Richards.
Yeah.
I've messaged them and like asked them like, is it possible to use Jose's colors? And they were like, yes, it's possible. Like it's like a little upcharge, and so I did
That's so
that,
funny.
and it came back, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know, like I probably like wasn't brave enough at the beginning, like to find my own voice, if that makes sense. And so yeah, over the years, like I've kind of like tried like different lenses and like styles, and then like after like quite a while, probably like 3 4 years, I really like found the space that I loved, like the style
Mm.
that I loved, and that like still evolved over the past years. But yeah, it's like very like dark and moody, in a way. Yeah, just check it out so you see for yourself. And yeah, I hope that answered your question.
No, I mean, I loved hearing you say all of that. And I think, I mean, I don't want to out myself with this funny story, but I might as well on the Jose Villa thing. So when I was first starting, I was almost the opposite. I was like naive, you know, to what anything was outside of just taking photos. And I was at a coffee shop once and someone was like, "Oh, like, do you look at this guy's work?" And they showed me Jose Villa's like Instagram. And I was like, "Who's that?" And they're like, "He's like the best wedding photographer in the world." And I was like, well, like, I don't know. I was just like, I don't think I like it. Literally nothing. Jose, I love you. I think hopefully we'll meet at WPPI this year. Now I understand, looking at it objectively, like what is technically skilled about it. But for who I was, it just wasn't like my style, like a more fine art. I wasn't fine art. I was a moody elopement photographer, you know? And I didn't even like understand the work. Like that's how naive I was. And I think about that sometimes where I was like, "Oh, what is this?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, it was literally Jose Villa." Like I had no idea who the person at the coffee shop was showing me. I didn't know that I was technically like the best wedding photographer in the world. And yeah, but it's, you know, that's what I also think is so cool about wedding photography is there's so many different styles you can be in and there's so many different ways you can shoot and all of us can make a livable income shooting in those different ways and being willing to like learn from other people and stuff. Like I loved what you said as an answer to my question because I loved watching your like compositions. Like you do really take into account like the architecture and the space around you. And I feel like from that time, I feel like I'm looking at the trees a little differently. And you know, I kind of love it. So super cool like meeting someone with maybe a different style and seeing how I could implement that into my own work as well. And just always being open-minded, you know? I feel like that is one of the cool parts about retreats and workshops too is when you're in this like hub of all these other people, you you're going to get pushed in all sorts of weird ways and it's really cool to like reflect on and see like, oh, and when I was at the next retreat in Arizona, honestly, the reason I probably gravitated towards like throwing them in between these trees was maybe because I spent time around Lucas. Honestly, you know what I mean? So it was really cool. Your talk was cool. I think you're cool. And everyone go check out his work because, yeah, light and composition, I do feel like you really take into account. But I like that you're doing it in a way that for me doesn't really, sometimes it can come off like old fashioned. But
Mm.
the way you're doing it, I feel like still is like really creative. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
guess so. So
saying things at this point. But
it's hard to explain if you don't see
I
photos,
know, you
right?
need to
So
just go
yeah.
look at his work so it makes sense. But sometimes when people like are too sometimes I don't love like a rule of third, like perfect composition. It just feels like it lacks like character and emotion. And what I like about you is you're making really beautifully composed images, but I still feel like I feel the innate like art and creativity and like emotion behind it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
Lucas is like, I don't know what to do. She's just complimenting me for like 5
Yeah,
minutes.
so
Oh, okay. LOL. Anyways, y'all definitely go check it out. Man, if you were to, I'm gonna ask you another question because I feel like I had this happen at the last retreat I was at as well, where I was looking at a setting and I was like, man, maybe I wouldn't use the light in this way. If you were to say have a couple like, man, somewhere at like 4 p.m. on a summer day, what would your eye gravitate to, Lucas? Only because I'm curious, because then people can look at your work and be like, oh, maybe I should challenge myself to shoot more like that. Would you gravitate towards like a side lit scenario, a direct lit scenario, or a backlit scenario?
I think it depends on the situation, right? So probably like also like the background or like the setting that we might have at that situation. I do love when like the background is like darker than like the couple, you know, like so like the focus is like on the couple.
Yep.
So backlit, I would probably not do like I try like to go away from like get away from backlit like
Yeah.
stuff.
I don't really care for backlit these days either. That's why I wanted to
Yeah,
ask. I was like, I don't know,
when I
something about it just feels, but when I started, it was so safe. It was like my easy go-to.
yeah, same thing. When I started, like I literally like canceled sessions when the sun was not shining because I couldn't like do backlit, and I probably like would do like harsh lighting. So yeah, if you see my Instagram account, like there are some shots. My God, some shots where like I do use this exact lighting and then just like play with like the light coming like from this side and then like a shadow on the other side. So similar to like what we did like in Italy. I'm not sure if you like checked out the photos that I sent you earlier, but
I
it's
haven't
kind of
yet.
like
I need to.
yeah, you haven't.
Maybe
There
I
you go,
pull
like
it up
the
and show the YouTube watchers.
yeah. So it's like the same thing, like the light coming in from a window. It's like very like painterly, you know. If I open my images in Lightroom, it's like very contrasty. Like the way that I shoot is like
Ooh. I'm going to show everyone. Now you have to go watch on YouTube. Please, hopefully this focuses. Don't focus my face. Boom.
it's
That looks
blurred.
so good.
You know, like
Wow. I'm literally just live on the podcast looking at photos you sent to me. Yeah, no, these are
and
great.
yeah, so I try like to use like the same approach, like pattern with like lighting in kind of like any situation, I guess, so that my like editing is consistent afterwards, and it makes it easier to edit the images. And but yeah, the way that I would use light would be like depending on like the background and the scenery itself. Yeah, so it's like hard to tell in a way.
I feel like you still answered it well. I only asked because I didn't even realize I had a ton of opinions about those sorts of things until you're in a group setting and you're like, oh, I don't know if I would take that image. Or like, I noticed that, especially because I shoot film, there were certain images where it's like, I don't think I'd take this because I can know that it'll be some sort of way that I might not love. And it was just interesting to reflect on. And it reminded me of you some because of how you use light and how you use it differently that I really enjoyed being around. So, yeah. Man, well, I feel like this has been so good. I feel like we could literally, this feels like a decent wrapping point. We're going to dive into SEO, and Lucas talks on SEO so much and he's so knowledgeable. That was actually what you spoke on for a good bit in Italy. And I was like, holy smokes, we got to bring him into summer school, you guys. So we're going to dive into a couple like quick tips and questions in recess. So if you're listening now and you want to hear about SEO and ranking on Google, your talk was crazy and we're not going to talk on that forever, but I am going to ask him some practical questions for people to apply. So if you want to know about SEO, go ahead and hit us over there in the membership over on Recess, which is the exclusive version of this. But to wrap us up, Lucas, man, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice or thing that you wish you had known before we go, I would love if you could tell everyone what that would be.
In the SEO space,
It doesn't
or
have to be an
like
SEO. It could be in anything.
okay,
Like if you were just like, man, I wish younger Lucas knew this, so that for people listening, they're like, yes, it could be simple. It could be like take a day off. It could be like spiritual, whatever that is for you is what it is.
probably a buy Bitcoin and Pokemon cards. No,
No, I love
just
that.
kidding. No, I probably like would have like told myself that like just like believing in myself like a bit earlier, because I'm like a very quiet person, like a very introverted in my private life. Of course, like I have to like come out of my shell when I'm like speaking and like on podcasts. But I'm normally like very like again like super like don't want to say lonesome because I have a family and kids, but I'm okay with with being like quiet and for myself, even in weddings without a second shooter. Just believing myself that I can do this, and like maybe like telling myself like to find my style earlier than I did,
Mm.
like not like wasting like those 3-4 years like testing
Yeah.
things out and not following trends, and just like learning, going to workshops. I think the one thing that like helped me in the beginning was like attending like workshops and like maybe
Yeah.
summer school next year, and like talking
Yeah.
like to like attendees. I think that's like making
Yeah.
friends, connections. Like even if it's someone that is just starting out, like they might have like a new opinion about like a different topic, and that might help you like do something better. And like taking like one piece from each person, and like like making this like perfect like new version of yourself, and
Mm-hmm.
that like knows everything and like tried everything, has tested everything, and just like believes in, yeah, in itself, to like achieve like that everything is possible. Like, yeah, that would be like probably my advice.
Dude, yes, you guys freaking got it, is what he's saying. You got it, test, try things. And I am not doing this to plug myself right now, but I am. Guys, summer camp is coming. And I wasn't even going to mention it until he said, oh, maybe a retreat, a workshop. Summer camp is coming. It's coming back May 11th through the 15th. You've heard it here probably literally first. So summer camp's here. It's going to be freaking crazy. 30 people potentially. The property sleeps 30. So probably about 20 attendees. I feel like it'll be one of the bigger, cooler wedding events to happen in America, at least. And I am so freaking stoked. If you want in on that, you probably should head over to summer school now. It's going to get dropped to summer school members first, and there's already about 100 worldwide members. So I do fear it might sell out without even being released to the public. But if you want to come, you should definitely come. And man, I'm like, what can I tell you? I haven't launched it yet. So I'm like, what can I tell everyone? May 11th through the 15th, outside of Hood River, Oregon, we will be staying on site of a wedding venue. How freaking cool is that? So not only will we be having like shoots and hands-on experiences, but you will be literally sleeping at a wedding venue. I feel like that's unique. Haven't seen that one done. So yeah, we'll be staying at a place called Wind Mountain Ranch. This is not public info, so keep that on the DL. And we will be getting to shoot at a property called the Griffin House, which is a really sought after high-end venue in Hood River. But summer camp is not about the shooting. It's about having fun and having a good freaking time and growing as an artist. So we will have lots of like hands-on experiences. I don't want anyone coming for content. I want you to come to grow as an artist. So while you will be having cool shoots, just know it's not about that. And I have a lot of super secret surprises up my sleeves that's going to blow all of you away. And that's all I'm going to say because I can't reveal anything else. But go ahead. I'll drop a waitlist or join summer school and you'll be the first to know. But Lukas, this has been a blast. I'm actually glad that you got me to say that because it's going to push me
You're
to
welcome. You're
actually get
welcome.
everything out like in the next week. We've been finalizing vendors literally as of yesterday and it's been really cool. But yeah, tell everyone where they can find you and all of the things to connect with you after the fact, because I know you have lots of businesses and lots of things going on for yourself. So I'd love for the audio people only if you tell everyone where they can find you. And of course, as always, you can find this in like the show notes, description, blog, wherever you go to after the fact.
Yeah, probably my Instagram account, instagram.com/Lukas Piatek Photography. So if you can spell it correctly, just click the link. That's
Perfect.
where like I'm most active. You can message me if you have any questions. Like I reply to everybody, so I promise. If you have any questions about anything, like maybe photography or SEO, I'll reply to you. I do also have a Patreon account that it's like a fairly small one, but we do like SEO videos on there,
Super
and
cool.
yeah, just like helping everybody with like getting more traffic and hopefully getting more weddings. And that's about it. So my website is lukaspiatek.com, but you'll find like more recent stuff on my Instagram account for sure. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
Awesome. Well, this has been such a blast. Lukas is truly an SEO master. Come join us over in Recess, or if not, go ahead and hit that Patreon link because I am the first to say I don't love teaching on things I don't feel confident. And one of those is SEO. So I'm so glad that you're here with us. I'm so glad we're about to dive even deeper. And go connect with him, you guys. He's a freaking boss. Thanks for coming on, Lukas.
Welcome.
Bye.
Bye bye.